everyone. This is your Auntie T, the chemistry teacher. Always chemistry made easy. Wow, I'm also glad to be here. Please, if you are not with your writing material, kindly go and get it now because we want to learn another beautiful topic in chemistry. So far we have been learning elements. If we look at first 20 elements, we've looked at all the from hydrogen to calcium. But today we are going to look at compound. Oh, what do I call it? I call it compounds. We're going to look at compounds. Go. We look at elements as what as any substance that cannot be split into simpler units. But what is a compound? A compound is a combination of two or more elements that are chemically combined together. Combination of two or more elements that are chemically combined together. Let me write it on the board. That are chemically combined together. You can see the word chemically combined together. I'm going to give you example of elements that combine together to form a compound. Let's look at the one we are used to. The one we we cannot do it in a day. And that one is water. Water is an example of a compound. And water has a chemical formula of H2O. Let's look at it. Examples. So we have water, and the formula is H2O. Good. If you look at what we have on the board, we have this our compound. Let me write it this way. So we have compound, we have the formula. Then let's add something called the constituent elements. Constituent elements. Good. Constituent element. Look at water. You can see. I hope you still remember your first 20 elements. The H stand for what? Hydrogen, right? I know we are together. Why the O stand for what? Oxygen. So that means we have two molecules of hydrogen and what? And one atom of oxygen. So let's write the constituent elements of this compound. The constituent element is what? Which element? That means the element that this compound is made up of. What can we see here? The first one is hydrogen. And what? Oxygen. This one example. Let's look at another example. Another example of compound is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide. When we are mentioning carbon 4, you don't write 4 like Roman numeral 4. No, in chemistry, we use this to write our 4. We mention 6, you don't write 6 like, oh, this is 6. No, we don't do this. We don't do this at all. So we use this symbol to write it, right? We have IV, good in mathematics. So now, what's the formula for carbon dioxide? Is CO2. Good. So this is the chemical formula for carbon dioxide. You can see combination of two or more elements. I'm going to move to the 3 elements. We are still moving gradually. We are progressing gradually. So let's write the constituent elements together. This stands for what? Carbon. So that means carbon and what? Oxygen. So that means carbon dioxide consists of carbon and oxygen. Let's look at another one. Let's look at copper 2 tetra also sulfate 6. That's another example. We have copper 2, remember? Copper 2, tetra also sulfate 6. Good. Now, this is another example of a compound. But what's the chemical formula? The chemical formula for this one is CuSO4. You can see. This is the chemical formula of this. You can see, look at these elements. I know I've not taught you this Cu. This is one of the transition elements from 21 to 30. They have what we call the first transition element. We are still going to go to that, but let's take it gradually so that I don't get confused. Okay? Let's go together bit by bit. So, the constant element here is 3 elements. With the first one we have is copper. The symbol for copper is Cu, followed by sulfur, followed by oxygen. Let's go. We have copper. What's right? The constant elements? Copper, followed by sulfur, and what? Now we have oxygen. We have lots of examples of compound. We have lots of examples of compound. Okay? But what I want you to understand very well is a compound is a combination of 2 or more elements that are chemically combined together. Are we together? Now, I'll give you some things. You know, when we mention elements, the smallest particle of elements is called atom. Yeah, I don't know if you still remember. Smallest particle of elements is called atom. What is the smallest particle of the compound? Let me write it. The smallest particle of a compound is called what? A molecule. Please understand that and note it. It's called a what? A molecule. But I want to tell you another thing. There are some compound that ends with, when we have there's a compound that ends with hydroxide. They end with IDE. There are some that ends with ATE. And there are some that just like carbon dioxide, IDE. Let's take this. We have example of compound. Compounds that ends with IDE. Like we have one example, carbon dioxide. We have carbon 4 oxide. So these are the compound that just comprise of just two elements. You know, the formula is CO2 as we have it there. I also have some compound that they end with what? Hydroxide. They have a negative ion. Compounds that ends with what? Hydroxide. I call it OH minus. So I can give you an example. I'll give you 2 examples, you give me more. You do more as an assignment. We have sodium hydroxide. It has the formula sodium. Symbol for sodium is Na. When we have OH. We also have another one, potassium hydroxide. That one, potassium. You still remember, formula for potassium is what? K. I remember hydroxide is OH. KOH. And we also have example of compounds. Let's go. The third one I'll tell you. Compounds that ends with what? ACE. Good. When we talk about, what's it called? Copper 2 tetra also sulfate 6. copper 2 tetra also surfaces, or you call sodium triazocarbonate 4. Let's take this one. Let's take sodium. Let's take sodium. Sodium triazocarbonate 4. And the formula is Na2CO3. You'll be wondering, as is mentioning sodium triazocarbonate 4, how do I get to my 4? How do I get to my 2? How do I get to my 3 that I'm mentioning? That's another interesting topic that I'm going to teach you on this my YouTube channel, okay? We are going to understand it together. We look at this compound, we have how many constituent elements do we have here? We have 3. The first one is what? Sodium, followed by what? Carbon, and the last one is what? Oxygen. I hope you enjoyed today's teaching. Please kindly like, subscribe, and follow my YouTube channel. I remain your Auntie T, the chemistry teacher. I love you. God bless you.